Vincent Price was an American actor who starred in over 100 movies. People would probably know him best as the narrator from the music video of Thriller by Michael Jackson.
For no mere mortal can resist the evil of the Thriller.
Or as the old scientist in Edward Scissorhands that creates Edward and his castle. Also, he was a very popular horror movie actor. He starred in dozens of horror movies. He was pretty much the king of those movies back in the day.
Well, you know, in all the scary movies you've done through the years, well, you're always turning into a vampire. Well, how do you do that?
So, of all the movies that Vincent Price ever made, he said that his favorite was this movie called Theater of Blood from 1973. So the plot is Vincent Price plays this guy named Edward Lionheart, who's this great Shakespearean actor, but he only acts in Shakespeare plays. He doesn't do anything outside of that. So the critics hate him, and they trash talk him, they give him bad reviews, and at one point, Edward has this Shakespeare season of plays that he does that he considers to be the crown jewel of his career, his masterpiece. And when it comes time to give the Academy Awards of plays or whatever, the critics shit all over him and they give the award to this bumbling, idiot, terrible actor. So Edward goes into a depression and he tries to kill himself at the critics' after party. Well, he survives the fall into the lake and washes up on shore, and these hobos find him, and he sort of is taken in by them, and he takes them in, and he goes and lives with them in this abandoned theater where he puts on plays for them and entertains them. And they're sort of like his bodyguards. They're like his cronies that help him. Well, flash forward 3 years, there's a series of grisly murders going on. And they're being committed by Edward. He's killing the critics that dissed him. And the way he's killing them is in these really gruesome ways that are identical to the way that certain characters die in Shakespeare's plays. You also have Diana Rigg playing Edward's daughter, Edwina, and she's also helping him. She's this sexy chick who lures the men in and gets them killed.
We have revised the script.
Oh, no!
I think the reason why Theater of Blood was Vincent Price's favorite movie that he starred in is because he was a lifelong fan of Shakespeare. He studied art history at Yale and was a really sophisticated guy. He ended up having this collection with 9,000 paintings and has his own museum called the Vincent Price Art Museum in Los Angeles. So he's a really sophisticated, or was a really sophisticated guy, but he was always typecast in these B horror movies, and I think that the critics just sort of wrote him off as this campy horror movie actor. So Theater of Blood was a chance for him to show off his acting chops and show how good he is in Shakespearean roles.
Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil.
And also, he gets to kill these critics in really gruesome ways.
My half-stuffed spear that frankly would have fed, pleased with this dainty bait, thus goes to bed.
Another thing that's kind of funny in the movie, which is very tongue-in-cheek, is that every scene where Vincent Price kills somebody, he's playing a character. He's in disguise. And the critics, who supposedly criticized him for being, a bad actor, never recognize him. They never spot the disguise. So that's sort of a funny, reoccurring joke throughout the movie. I highly recommend this film. It's one of my favorites.
Pity. He didn't have the stomach for it.